Redditors that host their home on Airbnb, what has been your worst experience with a guest? I used to travel a lot for work and I would put my apartment up on Airbnb while I was away. My apartment has a bunch of closets and drawers which I used to leave empty and at my guests' disposal. However, there is one closet in the bedroom which I kept locked cause it is where I keep my personal belongings. One time a guest left a bad review saying that the place had no storage space, which I was very confused about until I got home and saw my closet. Dude had tried to open it using brute force, the door was almost pulled off its hinges and the wood was chipped in some places. The door in question had 2 padlocks, and the perfectly usable closet on the opposite wall was untouched. Sounds like a creep. He was looking for the loot. How dare you deny him, smiley face. Rented out to a group of 4 girls. Turns out they were going partying every day during their stay. I get called one day at 5 AM. It's the guard from my building telling me Teresa passed out girl in the lobby's couch, puking and pissing herself. None of her friends had gone back to help her. Ruined the couch obviously. The next day they send me a message again, another one of the girls had sprinted to the building stairs and also pissed herself. I was messy drunk for 4 years at college and never pissed myself, none of my friends did either. WTF were they doing that meant they were pissing themselves so much? Do some freaking kegels, ladies. Same, and the only time I ever had a piss incident is when I was blackout and thought my friend's multi-$1,000 leather armchair was a toilet. Pulled down my pants, sat on it, peed on it, off to bed like nothing happened. I do remember thinking this toilet has no handle to flush so well. A friend of mine rented to a girl who was convinced that there were cameras hidden all around the unit. She dismantled the lighting fixtures, picture frames, medicine cabinets, remote controls, etc. On a side note, my sister and her fiancé stayed in an Airbnb that really was full of cameras. They found out because owner texted them almost immediately after they exited the seemingly private indoor hot tub and not yet returned the lid, before they even changed out of swimwear which they luckily chose to wear. She was obviously immediately horrified because they were clearly watching them. Airbnb apologized profusely and gave their money back, along with providing a free hotel their last couple days of the trip, but still. Edit, they found a lot of cameras throughout the house, including bathrooms and bedrooms. They never thought to even look. It was the first time they'd ever vacationed without real adults. If you really think this to be so probable, why use Airbnb? Dude stole my $120 sneakers and broke my TV. You're lucky, at least the guy didn't shit his pants. Did you get them back? I mean, you had all their personal info I assume, so I doubt they got away with it. Not a host, but I stayed at an Airbnb that rented 2 rooms. I was in bed and hear the other guest, a man and women, return. They're loud and drunk, but nothing crazy. About 10 minutes later I hear what I thought was them having sex, but then quickly realize it's someone getting hit. The host and I both hear this. The host starts knocking on the door, asking what's going on and to open the door. The woman opens the door and her lip is split wide open, she's bleeding all down her shirt. The guy is in the room, but runs out with a backpack and leaves. He's taken both of their cell phones and wallets. The police show up and everyone gives statements. They found him walking down the road and he found different accommodations at the police station. I slept fine, the room was Harry Potter themed, so I still left 5 stars. May I ask, where is this Harry Potter themed Airbnb? We are live-in hosts, so we are present while guests stay in our spare room. A guest arrived and immediately announced that they had shit himself during their journey. They then marked us down for cleanliness. Mate, you shit yourself. Also a guest who found a pair of my flip-flops in a wardrobe that they should not have opened, then shit over the bathroom floor, ruining my favorite flip-flops in the process. Also, a guest who went out drinking for 10 hours before checking in, meaning I had to collect them from the taxi, put them in bed in the recovery position, check on them when I woke up for work, then call the taxi company on their behalf when it turned out they'd lost their phone. I was going to upvote this, but I shit my pants before I got to the end, so I downvoted it. This thread is making me feel a lot better about the time my period started unexpectedly while sleeping on my host's white bedsheets. I at least had the decency to strip the bed and wash out what I could in the sink. Thankfully the hosts were out of town, and judging from their photos, a lovely lesbian couple, I figured out if anybody they would be the most sympathetic to my plight. I worked in a call center that handles some of Airbnb's customer service. So, one guest murdered 2 people in the host's home and got arrested there. Another guest was from a culture that eats iguanas and barbecued up a 7-year-old girl's pet iguana to serve to the family as thanks for hosting him. Another guest filled a mug with human shit and left it in the host's microwave. You really lose all faith in humanity working in customer service call centers. Editing to add, Airbnb requires photo evidence for all host complaints, and guess who is the first to see them? The initial customer service agent, who may only be on their first or second day taking calls. And the iguana man was forced to pay for both a new barbecue for the family and a replacement iguana. Is it weird that the iguana one is the most shocking to me? Hello, yes, I'm here to file a complaint. Essentially, Mr. Smith chopped 2 women up that he picked up on the hiking trip. Yes, 2 women. Yes, I do mean chopped up to pieces. Anyways, it's a lot of blood and I won't give him the deposit back. What kind of maniac sees a pet, that is very clearly a pet, in an aquarium and decides, hey, we eat those back at home, don't mind if I do, and proceeds to butcher and cook it without thinking of the potential fact that it was not indeed the equivalent of a fruit basket some hotels leave in rooms for guests? This is the second time I've heard about shit in a microwave. I guess my generation was slacking on that one. That sounds like a bioweapon. Our worst trick was the upper decker where you removed the lid and shit in the tank part so someone had to go fishing later. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.